Have you ever found yourself looking at other people's gifts that seem like superpowers and you wish you had that gift? Each one of us has it. And if you don't know what yours is, I want to send you on a discovery journey. Sometimes you don't know what it is until you look back. I certainly didn't know what mine was for more than half of my life. What is something you do that average people aren't willing to do? This is kind of a twofold question where, number one, it makes us think, am I doing things that average people aren't willing to do? But it also helps you to uncover your unfair advantage, your superpower, your zone of genius. If you aren't doing anything different than what average people do, then newsflash, you probably is average people. And if you don't want to be average, then you've got to do something different. While most people were maybe rocking out to music, I decided to use that as school time. I found podcasts of people that were doing online business. I found interviews. I listened to books, whatever it was that could educate me to learn what I needed to learn. So I gave up my enjoyment of music and relaxing while driving to use that time to learn. Maybe your unfair advantage. Maybe it's not a particular skill. Maybe it's not a particular superpower that you admire in somebody else that's so obvious. But what about your ability to just focus and have a long attention span? Or maybe it's you have patience. You can play the long game. Maybe it's you're persistent and you don't quit. Maybe you outsmart. You use a different strategy. Maybe you work longer hours. Maybe you write faster. All of these little things can become your unfair advantage. Go all in on that. I heard a podcast recently with John Lee Dumas. Maybe you've come across his Entrepreneurs on Fire podcast. I remember when he was first starting, and I remember being interviewed as a guest on there. But something he did that was different than anybody else at the time was he did a daily podcast. Lots of people had weekly shows. He was the first one to come on the scene and do a podcast every single day. He had found out a system to batch podcasts and therefore do something that other people weren't willing to do or couldn't do. That was a superpower for him. That was an unfair advantage that he had, that he recognized, and it really made a big difference for him.